What action has been taken?
Okay, the County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning has been directed to open recurrent and development special purpose accounts for Bungoma and Kimilili municipalities within 2 weeks. Appendix 2A is a letter from the County Governor to the CSEM for Finance and Economic Planning on opening special purpose accounts. Continue.
Governor, Chair.
Have you taken us through the action taken?
Yeah.
In full?
Governor, the letter is of 27th May 2025.
Has it read this?
So isn't that that period you gave, has it not lapsed? Has the period you gave lapsed? You said 2 weeks.
Governor, what document were you referring to? Sorry, Senator Sifuna, because this is your response,
yes,
and I believe that is what you should be taking us through.
yes.
Your response is much longer than what you have read.
No, maybe I read it faster.
No, even if it was fast.
Can I go through it?
Because there's a column on action. You must have read the summary. Did you read from this, the one with the table?
Yes.
I think, Chair, to be fair, I heard what he said. I think you might have been engaged with something.
He read the action taken,
yes,
which is on this document,
yeah,
but he did not read the response, the previous response.
This is what you should refer to.
Okay.
You read the summary, but this...
I read the action.
Yes.
Action.
Chair, what do you want me to read?
I want you to read your response, the one that has been forwarded with this forwarding letter,
Yes.
because if you go to your response...
That's what I've read. I said, Chair, that that is number 2. Yeah.
Number 2.
So fancy.
Have you read all the way to page, because it flows into the second and third page, your response, on the last
I
column?
think it is only number 1. Action there, top. This one.
Chair, I had him, he read only the first paragraph.
Yes.
And then he referred us to Appendix 2A.
Yes.
Yes.
So then I proceed.
That's where he stopped.
That's why I stopped. So I continue with the transfer of funds
Yes,
to the new accounts to be effected in the financial year 2025-2026. Okay?
Okay.
Is that okay, Chair?
Yeah, I wanted you to read your response in full, so that when you are asking questions,
Okay.
we don't ask questions in between.
Okay. Then Appendix 2B, CBK request to open special purpose accounts, dated 11th April 2024. Continue.
Just continue.
Invitation. Number 2.
We can allow the governor to finish, because if we ask questions in between, it will take longer.
So the county executive member for economic planning has been directed to take administrative actions against the responsible officers who failed to provide documents to the auditors at the time of audit. Then Appendix 2C is letter by county governor to the CECM Finance and Economic Planning. And the county executive committee member for finance and economic planning has cautioned accounting officers on failure to provide documents to the auditors at the time of audit. And then that is Appendix a cautionary letter from CCM Finance and Economic Planning on responsibilities of accounting officers on audit matters. The county executive has invited the Institute of Certified Public Accounts of Kenya to provide capacity building on financial reporting. Then there's Appendix 2E is an invitation letter to ISPAC. Appendix 2F is a reminder on opening of Bungoma and Kimilili development operational accounts. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Auditor, beyond that long action taken, please just assure us that variance on Kimilili municipality, are you satisfied with the explanations that were given?
Chair, the variances had not been concerned, and also the action plan that is indicated, it is not in line with the recommendations of the committee.
Okay, before we go there, just so let's go step by step. There are just 4 rows. So Kimilili municipality, that 39 million, are you, I'm seeing an explanation in the column number 3 on management response, saying the variance was composed of payments by the county government on behalf of municipality, recognized by the municipality in its financial statements, etc., etc. So when you read that, can you give us an assurance on that variance? Does it still exist? Or there was an explanation that was given that was making sense?
Chair, the variances still exist.
Bungoma municipality?
Yes, Chair, it still exists.
Bungoma County Climate Change Fund?
Even that one, it is existing.
Scholarships and other educational benefits?
Still existing.
Governor, why then are we now engaging in an academic exercise here?
Chair, just a brief observation before he responds. Governor, your appendices don't make sense. You have referred us to Appendix 2A, which is your directive to open accounts within 2 weeks. But that letter is dated 27th May, and when you go to 2B, the one now actioning this directive is dated 11th of April 2024. That's 1 year ago, Governor, before the letter of 27th May 2025.
Okay, just respond.
Thank you, Chair. We did a reminder we had requested for the Central Bank of Kenya to open special purpose accounts for Bungoma and Kimilili municipalities. But by June, actually as we speak now, the accounts have not been opened. So the CEC has done a reminder to CBK to fast track opening of the Kimilili and Bungoma municipality bank accounts.
You see, Governor, those accounts, administrative action, is neither here nor there. Look at scholarships and other educational benefits. The executive transferred 195 million, but only 165 million was received. What happened to the 30 million? That is the question. And it cannot be answered by a narration. It must be answered by a detailed schedule. Because otherwise, one would say that 195 million left the county and only 165 million went to students. And they'll say you stole the balance. You see? That's why that reconciliation needs to be done. So can your officers provide that assurance?
Yes, Chair, before the Governor responds, if I look at the Bungoma municipality, which received 80 million, but there was no evidence of a transfer from the executive. Where is this money coming from? Where is it being transferred from to this municipality? That's what I want to understand.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Chair, ordinarily, we are supposed to transfer funds from the county executive to those municipalities as part of the autonomy of those municipalities so that they spend from their end. But by that time, we had not opened those special purpose accounts. So we paid on their behalf. In accounting terms, we call it payment in kind. For example, salaries. We paid salaries for Kimilili municipality, for Bungoma municipality. So we reported in the executive. But the auditor wants to see the money transferred to the bank accounts of those entities. And that is what we are working on, Chair.
Can you explain the other one for bursaries?
For bursaries, the county executive we are reporting on accrual, and the scholarship fund is reporting on, the county executive is reporting on cash basis, and the fund is reporting on accrual. So definitely, Chair, there will be a variance which has to be reconciled, and we have provided this reconciliation.
Governor, how do you explain that in the market in Kimilili? The accrual and cash, because at the end of the day, your opponents will pick these reports and say that you took 195 million for bursaries, but only 165 million materialized. And that's why we need to close that gap, and the auditor must convince us.
They are saying the auditor was given the report, so let him tell us what he received and whether he's satisfied with it or not.
He has just indicated that he is not satisfied. Remember, I went row by row. Auditor, can you restate what you have already stated?
First, it is to confirm whether he has received that reconciliation. Because there's a problem. The CEC says they have provided information, but the auditor has not seen it.
Yes, auditor, please help us, because
have you received that reconciliation?
It's going to define how we are proceeding.
Chair, we have not received the reconciliation.
Yeah, so the CEC...
Mr. Makoa, are you Christian or Muslim?
Or there's also
I'm a Christian, I'm a Quaker by faith.
Because you are about to take the oath. Because you are either misleading us or the OAG is misleading us. One entity is misleading this community.
Yeah, this is very simple here, because we can just confirm.
So when you send a letter somewhere, see, it is received.
It is received.
So what do you have to show that they received that document? Or you gave somebody who's sitting here. You tell us who you gave.
Chair, we submitted the responses to also the OAG. When we were addressing the ML and the DAR, the draft auditor general report.
You have a document. You know I'm also an accounting officer.
Yes, I can provide that, Chair.
Just a minute. I am also an accounting officer of a very serious institution that receives from time to time public finances, and I'm audited. So correspondence between the auditors and my entity are in writing.
Yes.
I can show you that this is the letter we delivered and these are the annexures attached. That's what you should give us.
I can prove that, Chair. I can. Because we submitted.
What was the mode of transmission? Was it physical?
It was received and stamped by OAG.
Physical?
Yes.
Now, there are two things. There is provision of the details and the OAG agreeing that it makes sense. So OAG, did you receive and analyze and it didn't respond to the issue, or did you not receive at all?
Chair, according to the documents that we verified when we were doing the audit, that reconciliation was not among the documents.
Did they, when this matter arose in the management letter, did they provide further records?
Yes, Chair. The query has been existing from the management letter to the draft level and to the final report.
Governor, I will struggle to take the side of your officer. I will not.
Chair, let's be fair. One of them is lying. So can we just prove, if we also prove that, because he's saying he's prepared to produce evidence that he provided the information.
But
why don't you give that latitude also?
He says he provided at the point of the management letter. It is from the management letter that the draft report was compiled. And the auditor was still not satisfied that the reconciliation had been done. Because that's the audit process. If he provided during the audit, it means the auditor looked at it and still found the figures and reconciled. And I'm struggling because the first issue we are throwing accusations against each other. Your officer says they provided, the auditor says it was not provided. The second issue here, which is extremely critical, because the first one was 592 million. Again here, we have got variances of almost 200 million. Again, it's a ping pong. Are we making efficient use of this session? Honorable members, I'm about to propose a motion. Well, not a motion. Because having tested issue number 1 and number 2, it appears that there is some disjoint between the executive and the office of the Auditor General. And the Auditor General is on the ground right now doing the compliance, are you doing the compliance audits? In the in-year audits. We are not going to make a lot of progress that is useful to the people of Bungoma, if this session is going to be a blame game or a question of who should be trusted between the OAG and the officers from Bungoma. For the record, Governor, if I was to choose someone to trust, I would choose the OAG and not your officers.
Let the CC Finance also say something.
Just a minute. I'm about to say something that might be useful to all of us. Because we must now ask the Auditor General and the entity to go back and look at those numbers, but not in the form of another separate audit. It should form part of the scope of the 2024-2025 audit. In other words, I'm about to propose that the issues that are in these reports that remain outstanding to form part of the substantive audit for 2024-2025. Now, Auditor General, is that procedural, what I've just proposed?
Chairman, it's procedural because one thing, when you're dealing with figures in the financial statements, even if the reconciliation is to be undertaken in the ensuing period, the results of that reconciliation will have a bearing on the figures in the following year. So, if any variances are found in this year, 2023-2024, if they are not reconciled, they will still affect the figures in the following year. So nothing is going to be lost, Chairman.
Nothing will be lost?
Yes, Chair.
What did the CC want to say?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think there are three critical issues that maybe auditor should also come out very clearly. Like the issue that they brought out of 592, they are fully aware that the county paid 10 months in the year 2023-2024. That amount to 4.8. The 2 months was not paid in the month of in the year 2023-2024, which came in the year 2024-2025. So in accounting terms, is cash basis, the actual expenditure was 4.8. The other 2 months was paid in the year which we are going to report this year of 2024-2025, which means we have 14 months to report.
So you see, you are taking us back. Your duty was to demonstrate that to the Auditor General.
Yeah.
They are also professionals. They are members of your profession.
Chair, I wanted to say something.
That is what you are supposed to demonstrate.
There's something I wanted to confirm, Chair, because we are having also a serious problem when it comes to accounting. Because when for example, we report as at 30th, there are transactions that happens past July, which is a cut-off period, and those transactions that happens...
We in the Senate have already dealt with that problem.
Yeah.
The Treasury has already confirmed they are moving to cash basis. So, accrual basis. So, I mean, we shouldn't belabor the point. What is frustrating for us as a committee is when we are caught in between the entity saying one thing and the OAG saying the other. All you need to do when you appear before this committee is to show me a letter that has been delivered to the Office of the Auditor General, and the attachments are listed there saying these are the reconciliations on this issue number 1 and number 2, number 3. If for 2, there's another meaning. You can even take a photo of him receiving. So that
So you said 3 things. What is the second thing?
Chair, the third thing was about...
The second?
The second, I was talking about the cut-off period, because we are on cash basis. That's what we're bringing some kind of reconciliation matters because of those after June, and which I think accrual has solved. But now, also, the thing that brought about a difference also in our reconciliation is when we are dealing with municipalities, other entities, and we are not opened specific accounts for them, and that automatically is paid by executive. And that variance cannot be resolved until when we open accounts for the specific entities which we have done. And
I think it can be resolved.
Yeah.
Because you need to give a schedule of what the executive paid on behalf of the municipality. Have you done so?
That is what we gave.
So then, if you say if you've done so, then you ask the auditor what is still subsisting.
It's really simple. If you said you transferred 195 million to the bursary or education fund, but the education fund reflects only 165, and it is your argument that the fund is on accrual and executive is on cash, just demonstrate it to the Auditor General. We are reasonable, and once the Auditor General is satisfied, we clear the matter. Governor, are we asking too much?
No, you are not asking. In fact, I'm just getting also shocked because it's as simple as that. You see, one of them is not saying the truth. This one says this was given. We can just, like you are going to make a ruling, let them find out, establish that this was received or not. And if it was received, what happened? If you received and you don't agree with what you have received, that's a different story. But it's wrong to say maybe you did not receive, and this one is saying you received that it was even stamped. You know, you can't sit here just to... Patrick, OAG?
Chairman, maybe Patrick, before you answer, just sorry, is there a catalog where you receive all the documentation from various entities, and can you produce that black book where you write, if for example, Bungoma, and so that today sign, if I am bringing a document of Bungoma, is that black book where you sign off and say Cherargei signed this time, is it there? Thank you.
Chairman, even during the audit, we have what we call evidence tracking sheet. It's a record that shows when you ask for a document, when, what time, how many number of times you've asked for that document, and up to when it was provided. Chairman, please allow me to comment and say that I'm in consultation with my team here, and it's coming out that during the verification exercise in preparation for this meeting, it appears, although we met for one day, only 2 officers from the county government were available to explain the issues and provide information.
And there are officers at what level?
They are from the internal audit department, not from finance. So I feel it's like...
Governor, is that a fact?
I'm hearing it from him now. If it is true, I can assure this committee that I will take immediate action, because I cannot sit here just to look like a fool when I'm a very senior citizen in this country. Yeah, I cannot. If anybody has, if somebody was supposed to provide information and, like you're saying, did not turn up,
yes,
only 2 turned up, just leave it with me.
Yes, Patrick, proceed. Now, at least now is not doubting your account. Proceed.
Chairman, ordinarily in preparation for this meeting, we have procedures. And from OAG Chairman, 2 days before the day of the meeting, we're supposed to provide a brief to this committee. And our procedures require that we have preparation meetings, at least 2, which are supposed to be documented and minuted. And the persons who have attended those meetings are supposed to be recorded to indicate who was present. And then the governor is supposed to be invited in the final meeting so that he's properly briefed to be able now to appear in this meeting, Chairman. It appears that did not happen.
So Governor, it appears the preparation for this meeting, there are some things that didn't happen. And that's why I am going to make this recommendation, and members, you perhaps I'll need to hear your views. The OAG has already given us an analysis of your responses and action. There are a few things that he has told us, or she has told us, have been resolved. Let me just get back to it. There were, that's ROR. On the executive, Patrick, just read for us again the total issues were 25.
Chairman, for the executive, their total issues were 25.
Resolved?
Resolved were 6.
We shall adopt the ones that you have advised to have been resolved.
Yes, Chairman.
Not resolved?
14 issues, Chairman.
The unresolved issues, we shall direct that they form part of the substantive audit for 2024-2025.
Yes, Chairman.
Partially resolved?
The partially resolved issues, Chairman, were 5.
We could also direct that those form part of your substantive audit for 2024-2025. Is that logical within your audit framework?
Chairman, that will be the most appropriate way to go.
When it comes to the receiver of revenue, let's just deal with these numbers first. On receiver of revenue, how many issues were raised?
Chairman, for receiver of revenue, we had 27 issues.
How many were resolved?